Hi guys, welcome back. I so hope you enjoyed the Free Mindset Masters mini series. And judging by the feedback that you sent me, I have a feeling you have. Thank you for sharing with me your insights, your light bulb moments, your aha moments, the shifts that you already created in your life. And also for being so open with your questions and reaching out. I really do appreciate that. I am someone who loves being live with his participants, with his tribe, so I can guide you and help you in the best possible way. And since this is pre-recorded, I really appreciate us exchanging in that way, so I know I'm still on track. I know this stuff is good. I know these tools work. I've used them for myself many years. And so if you haven't watched the videos yet, please go back to the newsletter. Please watch them there. Or you find them, at the moment, you still find them on my blog, guidoszymanski.com/blog. The first video will stay up on there. I'm not sure about the second and the third one because they will go into that newsletter sequence. And I want to make sure that I, as I said, help you in the best possible way. If you haven't watched the videos, you probably also have no idea who I am. So just a quick introduction. My name is Guido Szymanski. I work with high achievers who are usually in the public eye. And I help them under all that pressure to not only perform better, but to also be happy with themselves, like themselves better, and be at peace with themselves, so that in their most defining moments, they can, they don't sabotage themselves, but when it matters most, they can actually draw on their resources. And so these are professional football players, leading men and ladies from the theater world. These are CEOs. Because we're going deep into subconscious structures, it doesn't actually matter what career they're in, because it's always about them allowing themselves to access their potential and to perform to the best of their abilities. Now, in the beginning of the year, when we were in, I think, in the second wave of this crazy COVID times, I realized I wanted to reach out to more people and I wanted to reach more people. And as I said before, this work is not nailed down to a particular niche, to a particular group of people, age-wise, gender-wise, or career-wise. And I wanted to make sure I reach as many people as I can. And I created something called the 6-week Masters, and I've taken quite a few people through this now, and the results have been incredible. And some of the tools and some of the insights, some of the ideas I already shared with you. Today, I'm back with one more thing. I promised to give you one more exercise, and then I want to make you an offer. If you are in fact serious about transforming your life, if you are serious about letting go of old pain, of stuff that has been holding you back, if you're serious about working towards your goals, your dreams, if you're serious about showing up differently in your life, or if you simply feel I'm stuck and I want help, then please watch this video till the end, because the 6-week Masters are coming back. We're starting in 2 weeks' time, and I would love it if you're on there. But before I do that, as promised, I want to show you one more thing. And I find that so interesting and so easy just for us to understand how quickly we can change and how often we just do something because it feels comfortable or because something else feels uncomfortable. And so we just go to the usual route without even thinking about it. And there's one little exercise that shows that brilliantly. And if you just, for me, do this for me and fold your hands. Now, if you look at my hands, I've got my left thumb up. Just have a look at your hands and just notice what thumb is up on your folded hands. For me, it's the left one. For some of you, it might be the right one. And just notice how this feels. This probably feels completely comfortable and normal to you, because you might be sitting like this on the train, or when you meditate, or in the car, unless you're driving. That's just a very comfortable position for most of us. Now, I want you to do this and put the other thumb up. For me, it's the right one. And just feel into this. How does this feel? I've done this so many times, and I know that most of you will have gone now, ooh, that's weird. that doesn't feel comfortable at all. So automatically you would go back to your dominant thumb up. But I want you to stick with the uncomfortable one, because the reason why it's uncomfortable is, yes, your body wants to go a certain way, but then you programmed your body to continuously go that way for decades and decades. Just notice again, put the wrong thumb up on top. And now do this for me and keep changing the lock, the grip. So left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And just do this for another 15, 20 seconds. And we're just confusing your system a little bit. While your body is getting used to both of the sides. And now, after another 5 seconds, I want you to end up on the uncomfortable thumb up. So your non-dominant thumb, if you want to call it that, but what before was very uncomfortable. And just sit with that now. And tell me how does that feel? And I know that most of you will now say, well, actually, that feels better than before. Go back to the original one, might still feel a little bit better, but chances are that the difference isn't that big anymore. Now, before, you will have always gone here, and within 30 seconds, you've changed something that's very uncomfortable to something that feels all right. And so this is what we do in everyday life. We choose what feels comfortable because the system knows it, and we choose emotional, mental, and thought processes because they physically feel comfortable to us, because they all create a reaction in our system. I want to understand why my brain goes a certain way. So there's often, as you know from the programming bit in video 1, a trigger in there that tells me I feel safer somewhere else. I don't deserve this. I shouldn't be doing that. I'm not worthy, or whatever the story is. So subconsciously, the trigger falls and it pulls us continuously back onto the old track. And if we try something new, if we expand into a new level, if we explore a new goal, let's say I play for a new club, I start a new job, I go on a date, I have to speak in front of people, or I just need to send out an email, whatever your trigger is, very often, when the stress comes up, the anxiety comes up, it's coming up because you feel unsafe. And so instantly we go back to the old route. And so I like to look at that trigger that is keeping you in that feeling of being unsafe and release the trigger. And that is what I call the intrinsic change, because once your system understands it has nothing to do with the truth, and we do the right work at the core, at the root, it changes completely and the doors fly open and you feel safer. I've seen this over and over again. However, this process takes time. And so we release the trigger and get you more back, continuously more back and back and back and back to who you really are. But because it's a process and because you keep growing, you will find yourself in situations where the triggers still hit, because growth happens like this. And even though you're in a much better place than you were before, even if you drop low, you might be in a higher place than when you were in a high before. It's stressful. Anxiety hits. You don't know how to move forward. And in those moments, that's where the second side comes in. I want you to have tools in order to calm down the system, leave your fight or flight mode, and be able to step out of stress. So you can then say, I have to perform right now, whatever that means to you, performing. I have to move on right now. I have to be centered, but I want to understand that trigger, and that I can do later in the day or tomorrow or next week. I call my coach, or however you want to address that. So we're always coming from two sides. Now, allow me to walk you through the 6-week masters. As I said, we're starting again on the 23rd of September. And it's a program, got a couple of notes here, and my workbook. It's a program that's designed to help you let go of your old fears, Let go of the past that doesn't serve you anymore, and of the programming that you might not be able to put your finger on, but where you feel something's not quite right. There's more for me. I know there's more possible for me. I know I've been called to go somewhere else, but I feel I can't. I feel stuck. It's usually, that's the word that people use it to describe it the most. I feel stuck. So this program is designed to help you, first of all, to understand why you're stuck. As I said before, as I always say, to understand why we tick, how we tick, why we tick the way we tick, and how we can change the way we tick. So in module 1, in week 1, we look at the programming. We go deep, not just into how programming works for everybody, but what your specific beliefs are. And you will come up over this course, you will bring up more and more of your own backholders, of the stuff that's holding you back and that's keeping you stuck and that's keeping you on the old track. And in week 1 already, we look at how we can start reprogramming this. This week is usually a great week of confusion. People go, what the F is going on? Because we are questioning so much. But it's incredible to see when those light bulbs go off and people realize, I can change. It's not because that's who I am. It's because that's how I was taught to believe or think about myself. So phase 1, it's 2 weeks, is all about the awareness. And in week 1, we understand the programming, we understand what our own beliefs are. And you're doing this work by yourself, even though you do it in a group. You don't have to share with others. You don't have to go into group exercises. I know this is a big relief for a lot of you, but you will find out, okay, what is really holding me back? And we start reprogramming that. In week 2, we're still in phase 1, in the awareness phase. We connect you to your best version. Imagine who you would be if none of your negative beliefs and the negative programming and the negative stuff that happened in your life is still working, is still holding you back. How would your life be different? It's very close to the magic wand question, and I think it was the 4th question in the videos before. Who would you be if you wouldn't have any of those critical negative thoughts? Of course, we needed those, and we still need those. And of course, that's an idealistic picture I'm creating here, but it connects you to what's really possible and who you truly are. And when I do that exercise in my one-on-one sessions, very often in the same room with people, I've seen grown men and women cry when they get connected to what's possible and what they really feel. It's so beautiful. It's such a moment of expansion. Then we go into week 3, which is entering phase 2. And this is all about letting go. Now we've learned what's holding us back and who we could be. And that very often brings up what's holding us back, what stands in the middle of it. And so week 3 is all about letting go. And that, of course, brings the topic of forgiveness. And as you know from week 3 of the mini-series, forgiveness is, for me, is one of the most important things that we can do. Not because it's so heavy and it's incredibly important, but it's so joyful. What you get out of forgiveness is all about you. Is, as I said before, not about saying you were right and I was wrong, you win, I lose, and now I'm bringing you back into my life. Not at all. It's, I release every little bit of resonance that I still have with that incident, with that person, and I completely let it go so I can take care of myself 100%. That is what forgiveness is for me. That brings us into the next step, forgiving yourself. When I planned the 6-week masters, full disclosure, I had that all in one module, and it became very clear, very quickly, very clear, because participants said, I need to go deeper into the self-forgiveness part. And so module 4 is then letting yourself off the hook. We're also learning in the letting go bit, we're also learning how to deal with mistakes, how we let ourselves off the hook quickly. I mean, I used to for years and years and years. I was holding on to old mistakes, literally for weeks, sometimes months, being embarrassed about how I behaved or what I did or what I didn't do. And I can tell you from experience how incredible it is to be able to let go of mistakes. Of course, we don't want to do them. Learn from them so we don't do them again. Forgive ourselves, let ourselves off the hook, and be able to function again instantly. To be able to let go of a mistake and within seconds, and I mean that, in within seconds, is even if you only take that away from the 6-week masters, it's worth, in my opinion, worth much more than what you invest into it, time-wise and money-wise. That's module 4. And now we have understood what's holding us back, connected to who we truly can be. We have released what's holding us back. We go into the healing process. And of course, all of these tools, they weave and interact. It's not like a strict process, only this, and then the next week, only this. They all happen at the same time, kind of. Now we're free. A lot of weight has been shifted. That backpack of old pain has been dropped. You are back in touch with who you really could be and want to be. You have tools to reprogram your own thinking and your patterns. And now we're going into phase 3, which is creation. And of course, in that part, we look at your goals. In week 5, we're now in creation mode. We're looking into what your real goals are, what the true goals behind those means goals are, and how you use them as a driver to get what you feel you need. This is just so beautiful to see people change and expand into what's possible. And in week 6, we're still in creation mode. We now integrate everything that we have learned. Now, there's one big part that I missed out, and that is trance coaching. All of the work, all of the processes that we are doing, I put trance coaching underneath. So trance coaching is a mixture between meditation, a healing session, and hypnosis. It's a very deep, relaxed state where we can reprogram, address your autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is in charge of all the unconscious processes, like you don't regulate your heartbeat, your breathing, even skin elasticity, everything that you're not aware of the processes in your body, in your system, is run by the autonomic nervous system. And with trance coaching, we are able to address that directly and make some severe sounds very negative, some incredible changes. Week 2 is actually all about, while we connect to a higher vision, is all about releasing the resistance to change. And one part of doing that, one tool to do that, is trance coaching. So something you actually just pop into your ears before you go to bed, and you do that in your sleep. But it's such a deep reprogramming process. And if you're someone who says, oh, I'm fearful of hypnosis, I don't want to go there, that seems a bit creepy to me. In the last course, we had actually 2 participants who had strong anxiety about just going into deep relaxation, and particularly hypnosis. One woman was actually in there, and she said she had some bad experiences before with hypnosis. That's why she wasn't actually sure if she should do the 6-week masters, because she knew we're working with trances. And both of them were able to enjoy and use them fully in the end. Because you just find there's a process how you can ease in and get used to it and make sure that you feel safe. So you know nothing can happen to you. And so you can see we work on many different levels in the 6-week masters. It's loaded with tools. We work on stuff you can do intellectually, you understand rationally, we work energetically, we start reprogramming actively. And many participants have actually said in the end, listen, I've done every webinar, I've done the trances, but I actually didn't do the homework. Sometimes I've done the morning routines, but I didn't do any of the extra homeworks because I simply didn't have time. And still my life has changed so much. And that is because the processes during the 6 modules work. Every module will go deeper and release you more and bring you to the next level. And the trances that lie underneath will just provide a bed for everything to grow. That's the 6-week masters. There's a couple of bonuses that I will share with you later. So one way to support you as much as possible is I create a Facebook group where only we are, it's a blind, like a secret group where only the participants and I are connected. And so you can put your questions there. And the beautiful thing to see is how people are supporting themselves, you know. So sometimes, you know, it might take 2, 3, 5 hours for me to actually get online. And someone has asked the question, how do I deal with that? And how would you address this? And 3 people have already given some very good ideas. Do you need Facebook? No, of course not. I know many people who are, you know, stepping out of social media, which I wholeheartedly understand. You will get all the information via email, all the info you need, the workbook that I haven't told you about yet, the replays. But for group support, I highly recommend that you do get a Facebook account so you can just join for those 6 weeks, which brings me to the replays. Now, all the sessions are live. However, of course, every session is being recorded because sometimes we just can't make it. And in the last 2 rounds, I actually had two participants, now both of them athletes, who wanted to be on every call, and it ended up never being able to come on any of the live calls. But they watched every replay. So they did this as a complete online course, and they had the absolute exact same wonderful results like everybody else. I still get messages today from people who've done the course in January saying, today now is the September 10th, telling me, I'm still getting feedback from my family, from friends. I've changed so much. I feel so much better. I deal with stress better with certain situations. And some of them haven't even been to the live meetings. That's the point I wanted to make. So you can do the whole thing on replay. That also means you don't have to join in and ask questions online if that's not your cup of tea. You can though, because what people ask live, first of all, I think it's worth so much if I can actually hear your question. I can dive in and coach you right then and there. And usually it's the same question that everybody else has. But if you're not comfortable with that, you don't even have to show your face. You can turn your camera off. So it's a very safe environment that is purely created to make you feel safe and to provide an opportunity for you to grow. What's the investment? The time investment is 6 times 90 minutes. That's the webinars. And if you plan 20 minutes a day, where you stuff that you will do automatically after a short time, you invest plenty of time. As I said before, some people don't do that. I have a morning routine where I do my things anyway, and some people only did 10 minutes. But I say 90 minutes once a week and plan 15, 20 minutes every day, and you pop the trance in while you sleep, you're done. So I am someone who likes things practical and easy. The financial investment, I hope you're sitting down, is only 350 euros for this entire course. And because you are watching this video, and if you're serious about doing that transformation and stepping in quickly, I'm even taking that price down to 300 euros for everybody who signs up before next Tuesday, which is September 14th. So if you're joining me now, even the 350 is incredibly low in price. You will get it for 300 euros for a 6-week program. I'm saying this so confidently that it's a very low price, because that is the feedback I've been getting from the participants saying, Guido, this is worth so much more. I wanted to take it up even more, but I want to reach as many people as possible. There's one more thing you are getting, which is a workbook for the entire course where the exercises are in there. You get a list in the end. These are all the tools that you have access to in the end that you can, because if stress hits, if a trigger falls, very often we don't remember what we have to do, but we might remember there's a list. And as soon as we have that list, I know, oh, I can use that tool quickly to calm down or to get out of stress, or there's a trance, or there's a reframe or preframe, all the different things I'm doing with you. And one thing that's missing, for the first time ever, I put in a money back guarantee for 15 days. So from the moment we start, you have 15 days to step back. No questions asked, you get your money back. If you're saying, actually, this is not for me, this is completely different to what I thought it would be. I doubt this is going to happen, because the program works if you do, a friend always says. And she's absolutely right. If you put the work in, then you will get results. And even if you only put half the work in, you will get results. So hopefully I will see you on the other end. Hopefully you will start with me this incredible journey of the 6-week Masters International in English on September 23rd. Hopefully you take advantage of the early bird discount. And if you have any questions, please reach out. Send me an email, send me a direct message on Instagram, and I make sure I get back to you as quick as possible.